Well, we are back. I have no idea what that was all about, but let's start this all over again. We're going to do it the right way.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
December number 22 in the year of our Lord 2017. It is the Happy Ho Ho edition of the program, the end of the year program. This morning we have Agent 0010, as you know him, on the program. We also have the Rev Rod. He promises to have a lot for us this morning, a surprise for us, so we'll give him plenty of time for that. Plus we'll just go over a lot of the end of the year stuff and get all that stuff covered and out of the way. And we shall get things started off this morning with one of my favorite Christmas songs. By the way, before I get to the song, did you know that Apple is being sued? Yeah, this is part of one of my rants for earlier this week about these tech companies getting into our devices that we don't. My computer slow down. They do. They put all this stuff. I don't know what they're putting on my computer. They never tell you what's in the download. They just say, "Oh, well, we've cleaned up some bugs." You know what? When you have an operating system that's 10 years old, I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you have an operating system that's 10 years old. How many more bugs can there possibly be in the system? I do know one thing, that when I press a button or a key, I expect my computer to respond. Sometimes it doesn't. It acts like it has to think. And it usually happens when there's a stupid update. And the computer gets slower. So because they keep keep adding stuff and adding stuff. But on Wednesday, the U.S. technology giant said that it has algorithms in place to keep an iPhone running at optimal performance. If there's an older battery inside that can't keep up with the required power, the aim is to stop unexpected shutdowns of older iPhones and keep them running to the best possible standard. So they just slow them down. So if somebody's used to something that's faster, then here's my proof, folks. I'm right again. Pat myself on the back. I'm just right again about all this, and I didn't even. It was all logic. These things just don't happen by themselves in a vacuum. People say, well, my device seems to be getting slower. And what were we always told? Oh, that's because you've got, you've got a bunch of pictures on it or a bunch of other files. And you've added files and deleted files. So there's fragment files. And you go and you do something called defragmenting or defrag. And nothing helps. And you get these companies that want to sell you. Some of these companies are actually owned by the operating system companies like Microsoft and Apple, believe it or not. They want to sell you these overpriced software programs that go in and clean out your files to speed up your computer. And you do that, and it really doesn't speed it up back to its original state. Well, the problem is it appears, especially, at least with Apple and their iPhones, is they've sent out algorithm and a program and put it on your phone without you knowing it to slow it down. So you're never going to get your speed back. And this is the problem with does Apple have an embedded phone or an embedded battery? I think it does. It has the liquid battery or something that they have to pour in, so it's never going to. You can't replace it. That's the other bad thing with Apple. Well, who's going to keep a phone that long? Well, why not? It's going to get to a point where you can't charge it. You can't replace the battery. Now, I know some people will say, I remember going through this with one of my Samsung phones. The battery died. Basically, I had to buy a new battery. But at least I could do that. Right? I don't think you can do that with Apple. Apple doesn't have... So I've never been this huge Apple fan that so many people have been a fan of. But in any case, let's get this morning started off with a good Christmas song, shall we? The original Charlie Brown version, I do believe, of the Christmas Time is Here. One of my all-time favorites. You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0 Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
And welcome back. We do have a Christmas song, a regularly scheduled Christmas song for you this morning. And the first one is of this hour is the one that I love the most. The version of, the Pentatonics version is very, very, very good, but I don't have permission to play that version here. But I can play this one, the Mary Did You Know song. Think about it, folks. Think hard about these lyrics and then just imagine.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Oh, Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? The sleeping child you're holding is the great I
Did you know? Think about it. She did know, folks. She did know. Papa John. Papa John is leaving. Papa John's. Yes. John, the founder and CEO of Papa John's Pizzeria, John Schnatter, There's an interesting name for you, Schnatter. You shouldn't make fun of people's last names. Why? I got a funny sounding name, so I can make fun of other people's. You wouldn't believe how difficult it is for people to pronounce my name when they see it, when they read it. How do you pronounce that? Ecclesias, Eclis, all kinds. So I guess my short 6-letter last name is difficult to pronounce, and it's a funny thing. It's a funny sounding name, so I can make fun of other people's names. No big deal. It's all in good jest. But Schnatter, come on, everybody thinks that something like that is got to be funny. Now Papa John might not agree with me, but Schnatter is a funny sounding last name. I'm not saying that he should change it, because he shouldn't. But he is stepping down as CEO. He's not entirely leaving the company, but evidently the Papa John's founder, John Schnatter, will step down as CEO next month, about 2 months after he publicly criticized the NFL leadership over national anthem protests by football players. And now some of you might think, well, that was a good thing for him to do, but in a business sense, not really. Consider the political ramifications when a business gets into politics like this. And I know sometimes the businesses get in on the wrong side, but you probably think that Schnatter got in on the right side, which is true. But he alienated about half the population that utilizes his product and service. Well, we could, think about the political, temperature in this country. We're pretty evenly split nowadays. So his profits took a dip, a lot more than was actually expected. And so Schnatter is stepping aside and allowing the current COO, Chief Operating Officer, to take the helm. Schnatter will stay on the advisory board. He'll stay on the board of directors. And all in other words, he'll still be around. He just won't be in charge of the day-to-day operations. Now, I don't know if that means that we won't see him anymore in the TV commercials. I'm not a big Papa John's pizza fan anyway, but a lot of people did like Papa John's. I'm not a huge fan of it. But it is what it is. In any case, but we will continue right after these wonderful moments from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. Get people to join in. We're about to have some fun.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hilary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
It is a joyous time of year, and we are glad that you are here. I would like to thank each and every one of you who listen to this program via Spreaker and my website, via the syndicated networks across the web, and you download it as a podcast. It is highly appreciated. You're appreciated more than you ever will know. And understand that you are the basis. You guys are the base, the backbone of this program now. And of course, that goes to all you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. And I know that we do have some people who people who live in Europe and around the globe listen to this program, and they do their best to try to listen as often as possible. And I thank you for that. I understand that people can't listen every single day, but me personally, I listen to it every day. I mean, 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday. That's all I ask. It's the conservative doctors suggest that this is a great pill to take, if you will. It's medicine. It's great medicine for you. Now, just remember, I can be a medicine man because I am part Native American. Somebody the other day was talking about we were talking about ethnic backgrounds. And I said, well, I can get away with making fun of 3 different ethnic backgrounds because they're all a part of me. And it's kind of, when you are, they always say that people who are Polish are the only ones who can do Polish jokes. Well, you see, I'm African American, black. I'm also Cherokee and Osage, which is Native American, And my last name, which means I'm also part, is French, which means I am part French because it is not, as I have found out, it is not a slave-given name. So I can make fun of the French too and get away with it because I can say, hey, I can do it because I'm French. And if you've been to France recently, they're they're pretty diversified in France, at least in Paris. There's a lot of diversified people, and you also have to remember that it was Algiers. I do believe that Algerians are also considered. Are they still considered French citizens? French Algiers. So but a lot of people can do that. They can in this kind. I'm by no means unique in being an American mutt, so to speak. A lot of people can do that. In any case, speaking of Apple, Apple is in trouble with some of their fan base for slowing down their older iPhones. So if you've got an iPhone 7 and any incarnation of 7 or older, Apple has algorithms that they've distributed through to your phone to slow it down. And their excuse is to protect your data and your experience on your phone. I love this. We want to give you the best experience possible. No, I just want something to keep working the way it worked when I first bought it. Now, I realize you probably got to do some maintenance, but hey, unless you get a car that's got 200 or 250,000 miles on it now, you expect that car to operate with all the maintenance that you do to it. You expect it to operate the same as the day you bought it. And I don't hear any auto manufacturers saying, well, we have to issue some algorithms into your computer of your car and slow it down so we can keep your experience with your vehicle high. No, that's not the way it works. Well, Apple's in trouble for something else, and this is from the mirror.co.uk. Evidently, Apple believes that there is an ethnic background that all looks the same. The iPhone 10 seems to be running into something that they're calling the X racism row. X, the Roman numeral for 10. Apple's Face ID fails to distinguish between Chinese users. Now, it doesn't say Japanese users. The story specifically, singles out Chinese. I've often told people this, that there is a difference in the looks and dynamics of different Asian people. And now sometimes it gets to be a little bit dicey to try to figure out what Asian ethnic background a person might be. But if you actually pay attention, you can probably determine pretty accurately. Now the ones that really get you confused are sometimes Japanese and Koreans. A lot of times, because Koreans, the South Koreans, because they're so especially compared to the North Koreans, it's a very wealthy country, and they have a high fashion sense, and their fashion sense is pretty because they're also very close to Japan. It's very similar to that of Japan. It's very colorful, so they kind of wear the same kind of thing, and they sort of have the same type of desires, I guess you could say. And there's a lot of intermixing. The Japanese you'll find a lot of Japanese in South Korea and a lot of South Koreans in Japan, evidently. So there's a lot of mixing going on. So there could be confusion there. But otherwise, Japanese usually really don't look like Chinese. And Chinese don't really look like Vietnamese. And Vietnamese definitely don't look like Filipinos. And Filipinos don't look like, Thais from Thailand. And what is it, Taiwanese? Well, that would be Taiwan. Thais from Thailand don't look very much like Cambodians, and so on and so forth. And Indonesia, there's a distinct difference. So this iPhone evidently cannot distinguish between Chinese faces. Apple has been accused of racism amid reports that the Face ID authentication technology on its new iPhone X is failing to distinguish between Chinese users. A man from Shanghai bought his wife a new gadget soon after it was released last month, but she was shocked to discover it could be unlocked by her teenage son. Now, frankly, there's a picture of the two, and as much as a son can look like his biological mother and a son can look like his biological father, sure, there's a family resemblance there, but she's much older. She looks a hell of a lot older than this. I don't know how old the teen is, but he looks like he's 10. But he's evidently a teen, which means he's at least 13 or 14 years old. But he looks like he's 10. But, and it's not just because he's Chinese. There are a lot of, you walk into a high school, look at the freshmen, 9th grade freshmen, 13, 14 years old. Most of them look like they're 10 or younger. I often get surprised when I hear somebody's, a kid's age. I'm 15. You're 15, or you see somebody, get behind the wheel of a car. Yeah, I just got my license, 16 license. You're 16. I was just in the grocery store the other day, and I noticed this kid who was stocking the shelves. I swear to you, if the kid was older than 8, it was surprising. Well, he obviously has to be 15 or 15 and a half in New Hampshire in order to work. And at that particular hour, I think he would have to be a little bit older than that. But he was at least 15 and a half. I swear to you, I thought he was a tall 8-year-old. Like, where's the kid's parents? The first thing that came to mind, where's the kid's parents? Because he was alone. But he had the store smock on and everything. I'm like, wow, he's at least 15 and a half. Unbelievable. So the age thing is, when it comes to kids nowadays, I mean, they just look young. Although that looking young, as I told you yesterday, isn't translating into them living longer. Millennials have forced for the second year in a row for the life expectancy in this country, at least, to dip for the first time in generations. 2 years in a row now. So the woman said, the mother said, our son was using it and didn't know the password. Apple has reportedly launched an investigation into the Luz family claim, the L-I-U, that's the Luz family. They're the ones that have this phone. And this woman says, well, yeah, my teenage son, he was using it because the Apple phone recognized his face as me, his middle-aged mother. And so now there are claims, and this is not the only time. Now, first of all, this is a boy and a woman that it can't tell the differences. Now, this is not the first reported incident of Chinese users being able to unlock each other's iPhone Xs. Last week, Asia One reported that a woman from Nanjing discovered her colleague, who was not even related to her, was able to unlock her phone using Face ID. And they have a picture of these two women. And no, frankly, to the naked human eye, they really don't resemble each other, other than the fact that they're both Chinese. So Apple's got a real problem on their hands. They're slowing down your older iPhone on purpose, used with the excuse of, well, we're trying to preserve your experience with the older device. They're not that old. I mean, do people realize that we went from Apple 8 to Apple 10? There was no Apple 9. But just saying. There's no iPhone 9. I don't know. I've never been a huge Apple fan, and that just makes me less so much so. There was so much booze in the air at a frat party in the air that it registered on the cops' breathalyzer devices. Yeah, it seems that a fraternity, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, at the American University in Maryland, they were they got too happy in celebrating the season, I guess. The phrase "drink in the atmosphere" just got a new meaning. Yes, according to USA Today, there was so much alcohol flowing at a fraternity party in a suburban Washington, D.C. neighborhood that the air in the building tested positive on a breathalyzer from police who raided it, according to documents reported to the local media. Yes, police raided the November party at a house in Bethesda, Maryland, a frat house, which had been advertised online as Tequila Tuesday after complaints from the neighbors about the noise. Now, according to court documents, officers found windows covered with insulation, trash bags, beer cans, and liquor bottles everywhere, and a floor sticky with spilled alcohol. When tested with a breathalyzer, the air inside the home registered a .01 on a score of .08. A score of .008 makes a person legally drunk in the state. So they were just breathing the air. You could be on your way to being drunk. Meanwhile, 8 partygoers locked themselves in a bathroom while another jumped out of a second-story window in an effort to avoid police. In all, most of the, as you can probably assume, about 70 people emerged from the house eventually as officers processed the partygoers with breathalyzers, and yes, most of them were underage. 6 men who lived in the house were charged with and it lived in the house, and there were others, I guess. I don't understand this paragraph. The 6 men who lived in the house, they give the names of each one: Jeffrey Becker, Ashton Acosta, Anthony Santana, Kevin Alkenberg, Matthew Berger, and Tristan Ralph, all 20. This is USA Today. So 6 men lived in the house, but all 20 of them were charged with 126 counts each for allowing underage possession of alcohol and furnishing alcohol to a minor. Well, they were all having fun. Well, this is one of the reasons why I don't think the legal drinking age should be 21. I mean, this is just dumb. No, these guys should not have been providing alcohol to somebody underage. But look, you're in college, you're an adult, you're able to vote. You can fly a military jet fighter craft or pilot an M1 Abrams tank, for crying out loud. You can go to war and take somebody's life and have your life be taken, but you can't have you can smoke cigarettes, but you can't have a drink of alcohol. It is one of the dumbest liberal. It is only there to abscond with people's money, and this is what young people have to understand. If they're coming after them first, and how they do it first is they get you. They get you because they know that you're most likely going to drink alcohol. Now, there is a new problem, however. Young people are turning away from alcoholic beverages, it seems, at an earlier age. I know we hear this, but the epidemic seems to be drugs. They're picking up drugs, other illicit drugs, instead of alcohol. And you could say it's a good thing. But let's face it, if you're 18 years old, you should legally be able to imbibe in an adult beverage, don't you think?
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
As we're really getting into the thick of it here. We're going to get into another Christmas song this morning. Yes, this is what we do. This is, first of all, it's Freedom Friday, so we do things that are a little bit different from the rest of the week anyway. And it's the end of the year happy ho-ho type of celebration. So we're going to play a little bit more. I know I don't play music here, but, we're playing a little bit more of it. This is one of the favorites from this year, the Ravenettes.
All the lights are coming on now. How I wish that it would snow now. I don't feel like going home now. I wish that I could stay. All the trees are on display now, and it's cold now. I don't feel like going home now. I wish that I could stay.
joined by the Ravenettes. Hey, if you want to give something this year, a special gift, you could give. This is from Gizmodo. Now, before, this is from a 63-year-old man. The title of the piece from Gizmodo: Man had so many prostate orgasms he couldn't stop, according to a new paper published. One 63-year-old man had so many prostate orgasms that he couldn't stop. If you didn't already know, it's possible for someone with a prostate to orgasm by massaging it through their anus. Now, of course, this has been featured in things like American Pie and Road Trip, but there's a problem with the poor 63-year-old protagonist. So the unnamed man was healthy with a normal prostate and an extraordinarily high sex drive. So he purchased an Aneros, A-N-E-R-O-S, Helix, a fancy butt plug, to massage his tender prostate after he got a prostate infection, I guess. Combined with his daily tadalafil prescription, basically Cialis, which is both an erectile dysfunction and urinary tract infection drug. I didn't know that was highly prescribed for urinary tract infections, but evidently it is. The sex toy made the infection go away, but naturally he also began having extreme orgasms of the Super O category, says the paper. He felt them everywhere, in his penis, in his anus, his pelvis, and his the place between his anus and the scrotum. Yeah, evidently the guy just can't get enough of it, and at 63 years old, and he's very happy with his. I don't know if this is this a new side effect? Is this something that is this something Cialis is going to have to? The side effects may include extensive orgasms.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of french fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. have working smoke alarms, and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning to you. Welcome back on this Friday morning.
Welcome to Freedom Friday.
Yes, indeed. It is a Friday, December number 22 in the year of our Lord 2017. As we continue in hour number 2 here on the Rod Eccles Show. This hour, coming up right after this, we have an interview with Agent 00810, a.k.a. CS, or I guess you can say it's CS, a.k.a. 010. But do we really know what his real name? After all, he is a former government spook. I mean, do we really know who he is? He could be like a Bourne Identity for all we know. Jason Bourne. They could have changed his name for him. Now, how would he know if they actually changed his name? I mean, he might say, well, I can see my birth certificate. But here's the question: are they really your parents? They could have faked the birth certificate, But we're going to get to the bottom of those very weighty questions in just a few minutes with the agent himself. Don't forget that next hour we also have the Rev Rod is going to be in the Bunker Eye studio. He promises something special today. He's really excited to be here this morning for you for his annual end of year sermon, and he's got something rousing for you. He says, "Well, we'll have to see." And by the way, if you really want to get some, I don't know if they have to change their commercial now on Cialis. Anybody remember those commercials? I remember the first one where wasn't it a couple in a couple of iron, clawfoot bathtubs outside overlooking a beautiful romantic scenery. They may have to. Well, it's kind of amazing that they come up with these drugs sometimes to tackle one thing. Like Cialis, basically, I guess, with the tadalafil or whatever it's called, was originally supposed to help with urinary tract infections, which this poor 63-year-old man evidently had one. He had a prostate infection, and it was there. That's what it was supposed to be for. But the side effect of this thing is it supposedly helps men with erectile dysfunction, which also increases their sex drive. And if you already have a high sex drive, you probably don't want to take anything like what's the other one? I don't take them, so I just every time. I think we used to have a sponsor here for that, the little blue pill. For the you gotta can't. There are more natural ways of handling handling your business, so to speak. But I'm not gonna judge anybody who takes it, but the poor guy though. I mean, it is what it is. In any case, let us say hello to Agent 0010, aka CS. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing, Rod?
I am well. Now, I am blessed and highly favored, especially at this time of year. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Now, you probably heard my little monologue there. So are you positive that your birth certificate is accurate and has not been absconded with or changed by the government in any possible way?
Yeah, I'm very sure about that. There's no doubts about that. Believe me, I remember almost every day growing up, and I'm very sure.
Now, one of the things is a lot of people don't really understand and realize is that you, for lack of a better term, some people don't mind the term and some people can't stand the term, but you literally are a former government spy, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you use the word spy, I mean, then, the civilians in the world or people that already know would get a better grasp. Personally, those of us that worked at the agencies or currently in the agencies, I don't like spy because, like I said, it connotates this glamour, this glitz, this world that you see on television and in the movies. When the reality, that's like the cars and all that. Yeah, sometimes the cars are there, especially if you're single and you're drawing that nice paycheck. But if you're a family man, then those cars aren't there. It's more like a minivan. but it just draws this image in a person's mind that isn't realistic. Spook, on the other hand, it's more realistic because we were there, but we were not there. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah. The actual reality is more like, it's not James Bond, but it's more like Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie with Jamie Curtis in True Lies. Although in the end,
God, no.
In the end, she does
God,
become
no.
a spy too. But
God, no, it's nothing like that. I mean, let's put it like this: the hero doesn't always win. In the movies, the hero always wins.
yeah,
We've lost a lot. We've lost a lot of people.
Now, there's also something else that a lot of people don't fully understand when it comes to the two major American spy agencies, if you will, intelligence agencies, which are the CIA and the NSA. Now, what is the real basic? Now, we all understand that they probably intermingle and cross over from time to time, but what is their basic tenets? What is the major difference between the two?
The CIA works overseas, and they're supposed to neutralize or deal with any possible threats to the United States from outside of the United States. The NSA, they deal with basically eavesdropping. Or so that's what the paperwork says. That's what the description says. But within the NSA, it goes deeper than that.
And which agency were you a part of for so many years?
I started off at the NSA, and I was an analyst. I was in the United States Army, and I was sent to the NSA to be an analyst. And I did that for a couple of years, and then I was transferred to a branch of the NSA called the CSS, which is the Central Security Services. And that is the action arm of the NSA. Those are the individuals that actually go out and do things.
So you were in the field, but you didn't have all the wonderful gadgets that James Bond has.
I had some gadgets, but they weren't all that wonderful. Some gadgets I actually bought myself because I saw them and I was like, hey, that's cool. And I bought them. And I lost some of them in the field. But they were helpful. They were useful.
Now, obviously, there were probably some times when you felt you were in a life or death situation, meaning your own life is in peril. Did you think that doing all of that was worth it?
In the beginning, I thought it was all worth it. And I went with that conviction. This is worth it. What I'm doing is worth it. There will come a time when my soul will burn eternally in hell for what I've done, but it is worth it. But then after I retired, I looked at it in retrospect. And I was partly lying to myself because it was worth it, but I was also addicted to the adrenaline. I became an adrenaline junkie and I didn't even realize it. And, I got hurt a few times because of my actions, believe me, I've broken bones, torn muscles, torn ligaments. I've basically messed myself up. But in looking back, yeah, I was addicted to that adrenaline. I loved it. I crave it to this day, and some people say that's suicidal or that's stupid. It's like, yeah, so what's swimming with great white sharks? Seriously.
Well, yeah,
bungee jumping.
Yeah, the base jumping and things like that. Sure, people get there is a thrill to adrenaline, and absolutely there is. I felt it. I don't do it so often where I've gotten addicted to it, but it is kind of there is something that about it that says. I did something dangerous. I could have been killed, but I lived. From the wonderful movies of those drunkards in Las Vegas. But did you die? And no, I didn't. So you want to go and do it again? I guess the humans are kind of stupid that way. Most animals will avoid such things, but we sort of crave it.
I got into a discussion with a friend of mine who served in the Air Force, and he served there, and and he was talking about suing great white sharks, base jumping, this, that, and the other thing, and I looked at him like, oh God, no, that is just ridiculous. That is just insane. And he looked at me and he goes, how many times have you been shot at? And how many times did you go back for more? And I'm like, okay, stop. You made your point. You made your point.
There are extremes in everything. And
exactly.
But now you're living the good life by being retired. Do you ever have to look over your shoulder because of your...
It's I do because it's a reflex, but I also do because I have to. Yeah,
So in other words, you can leave the agency, but the agency never leaves you.
Never. It doesn't. There are times where I'm watching the news and I get so enraged with myself from what I'm seeing on the news because I retired. Because I miss, and some of us call it a game. The cat and mouse game of, do I have you? No, you don't. I've got you. No, you don't. I found you. It's sometimes it's a cat and mouse game, but I actually get enraged with myself because I left. But I had to. I really had no recourse, because if not, I would be sitting behind a desk in front of 3 computer monitors every day, and that to me, that's a fate worse than death.
Yeah, it's a little boring. Once you're out in the field and you have to have a desk job, it's kind of boring. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now your experiences are leading you to write a series of novels. Now, all these are fictionalized, but they're based on some of your real life experiences, no doubt. I mean, we've had some very prominent authors who have done the same thing. Tom. Who are some of the prominent authors now that you know of or can say were part of one of the agencies?
The one that comes to mind, the most prominent of them all, would be Mr. Ian Fleming, and he was the infancy of MI6. He was not just a handler, but he was also an operative. He was both. Yeah. In fact, he's one of the guys that went from handler to operative because he could handle sending his people out and them dying. And he was just back home safe and sound in England during World War II. So he is the most prominent in my mind of all of them. And to me, he is also the most honored because, the woman he married, his wife, she was murdered because they were out to get him. And not many people know this, but she was murdered. He was supposed to be home. He wasn't. And their home blew up. And after that, he never remarried again. He refused to ever remarry. He lived with someone for many years, but he never married her because of that dedication he had and that love he had to that one woman. And to me, I cherish that. I think that is honorable beyond words.
For not wanting to put other people in danger because of your position and what you've done in the past. And now
exactly.
You're also following suit into there's no movie deals yet, or is there? Any movie deals?
No.
Okay.
No.
But you're writing a series of books and novels, and they're from a series that you're calling the how do you pronounce it? The Vernon dossier?
Varon
dossier.
Yeah. VARON, Varon dossier.
Now, who's the main protagonist in this?
The main protagonist, his name is Jean-Philippe Varon. He's an American, but his family is from Europe, and they legally immigrated to the United States, and he was born and raised in the United States. And he basically has this, he's the type that he will bend the rules to make things happen, but he won't break the rules. And if he does break the rules, he's like, it's like a last resort. It had to be done. And he's very, as the series goes on, you see that he changes, that his mindset changes, his demeanor changes. He becomes colder. He has losses in his life, gains and losses. And he becomes an individual that, you know, he has a switch. And that's one thing that we learned at the agencies also as time went on. But he has a switch, and he knows when to turn it on, and he knows when to turn it off, but sometimes he forgets when to turn it back on again.
Well, it can definitely be difficult to separate, you know, work and, well, when you're in that kind of job, there is no separation of work and private life, but it can be a little difficult for most people to separate work from private life, and one bleeds into the other all the time. You can never keep them separate.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people in the NSA and the CIA, especially in the CIA, that married, children, have a regular life outside the agency. They go outside of the agency, when they go to work, and they have to go on a deployment or on a mission overseas or on an operation, you know, they develop a whole new persona. They are a whole different person. But when they come home, they're back to being a husband or a wife, a mother or a father. And, you know, you can have that. But, I mean, honestly, if you take a look at the wall of honor at the agency, at the NSA, and then you take a look at the wall of honor at the CIA, the NSA has lost almost double more than the CIA has.
Wow. And you would think it would be the other way around.
Yeah, because, you know, the NSA, the people that were lost at the NSA were specifically targeted, you know, and it's like they find certain equipment on you. The bad guys find certain equipment on you, and they say, oh, well, you work for the Americans. Bang, done. You know, they go out on missions, personnel from the NSA, they go out on missions with, you know, special forces, Army Special Forces, Army Rangers, you know, Marine Special Operations. They go out with Navy SEALs. People from the NSA are so versatile that they have to go out with special operations, you know, these military elite forces, as well as with either a partner or on their own. So, you know, they're so versatile and have to be so intelligent, but yet also very down to earth to deal with the military aspect of their job, because guess what? Special forces, or let's say, for example, Army Rangers, these guys are down to earth. I mean, they're brilliant. They're extremely intelligent individuals, and
they're down to earth, but are NSA and CIA agents down to earth? And I'm going to ask this question: what's the most expensive suit that you own in your closet?
Do you really want to know?
Yes. Do you have an expensive suit in your closet?
I have a couple of expensive suits. The most expensive was $2,000.
There you go. That's now. I know that you're working hard on these novels. Is there a publication date set yet?
No, there's not. I am tired of hearing from publishers that spy novels are not the current thing anymore, that, you know, there is no clamor for it, or they're not publishing spy novels, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Then tell you what, I'm just going to do it on my own and go through Amazon or some self-publishing and do it that way and catch the world's attention my way. And, I mean, if you want, you know, you and your listeners, if you want, you can go to my website. It's called The Varon, VARON, Dossier, DOSSIER.com. And there's excerpts from, my first book, and you can read them there. And let me know what you think. Go to my Twitter, with the Twitter's on the first page. Just go to my Twitter account and let me know what you think. Or, I have a feedback at the bottom of the first page. Email me. Let me know what you think. I'm still working on the first book. I'm trying to polish it up and clean it up, make it look right, get the sentiment across properly, what I'm trying to communicate or what the main characters are trying to communicate. And just let me know what you think. I would greatly appreciate that feedback.
Now, last question. Now, we know that some former operatives, as you like to put it, do go into the, shall we say, private sector after leaving their various agencies. We've had a couple of TV shows, back in the 80s and 90s that did that. And we've had some former, special forces people. Like everybody remembers the A-Team. They were special forces, right? That went privateer. Do you ever do any privateer type of work?
No. I mean, I would consult. But not in the way that I would go out and, blow crap up. I'm talking about what is your consultation on this country or this organization or this situation? I would give consultations on that. But as far as going out again, you know what? I'm trying to focus on the books. I'm trying to focus on trying to live as normal of a life as I possibly can. So as far as me going out, no, not going to happen.
That's all done. You're all done with that. Well,
unless something really extreme happens that really sends me over the edge. And I no. But other than that, no.
Well, I got to tell you, we've had a wonderful time this past year, this first year of doing the Intel report together, and you have brought some highly, at first controversial material, but then later to be proven absolutely and 100% correct, and your accuracy is just uncanny, and that goes to show that you do know what you're talking about, what you're doing, and I want to thank you for offering your services to me and my listeners, and I look forward to 2018 being even better than 2017. Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
Hey, Rod, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor working with you. It's been a pleasure, and again, an honor to, inform your listeners. And I hope to improve upon my track record, make it even better. So, you know what? Merry Christmas and the happiest of New Year's to you, to your family, and to your listener and their families, and God bless you all.
Yeah, and we'll see you next year. So until then, stay safe, my friend.
That's boring. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. We'll be back, folks.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey.
Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You know, it's always good to have high friends in low places and low friends in high places, and sometimes you got both in one person. And I think that is the wonderful agent and CS. So it's been a pleasure to work with him for most of 2017, and I look forward to working with him all throughout 2018. And as you'll see more of the conversations that we've had on the air popping up over there on the website, rodeccles.net. And check out the veterandossier.com. I mean, it's a nice site. It's well laid out. And I think I've read a page of one of his. I think you'll enjoy it. I am not a big suspense or thriller or spy novel kind of person. That's not my genre of choice. My genre is more like, fantasy and adventure. like Lord of the Rings and things like that. That's really and adventure stuff. I remember one of my first adventure novels that I read way back when was a title called A Dog Named Wolf. It's out of print now, but you can pick it up on Amazon and on eBay. Very good. It takes place in the Canadian northern wilds, and see, not swords and everything, but it very much adventure, and that's my genre. However, after reading this first page, I'm thinking, maybe I might follow this guy, and read more about him and his stories on here. It could be some good stuff. Now, right now, I'd like to get over to playing the song because we went a little bit long, a little over with our interesting discussion with CS. So we're going to play the next Christmas song that should have been played then. And this is one of my favorite renditions of this Christmas song, The Little Drummer Boy by Gibson's Bagpipers. I know not everybody likes bagpipes. I happen to love them. And I think this is a beautiful, hauntingly beautiful version of The Little Drummer Boy. Always love that rendition with the bagpipes. There's something about that instrument. It is I understand it's nearly impossible to learn how to play it. Play it well. But when you get past that point and you actually play it well, to me it sounds absolutely ethereal and beautiful. And one instrument sounds like three. Amazing stuff. Did you see this story? Pelosi breaks on the House floor. She says the GOP tax bill is morally obscene and theft and does violence to the vision of our founders. Now, folks, I'm telling you, this is just incredible. How is it, when could it possibly ever be construed that letting people keep their own money is akin to theft? Wait, is Pelosi saying that the American people are committing a theft on the federal government by keeping more of their hard-earned money? That's exactly what she's saying, by the way. Don't doubt me on this. Yeah. During a speech in the House floor on Tuesday, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi slammed the Republican tax plan as morally obscene theft that does violence to the vision of our founders. Does Nancy Pelosi, does she not remember and realize that one of the tenets for going to war against England was due to taxes, overtaxation? You know, taxation without representation and illicit and what they construed to be immoral and illegal taxing. And yet she wants to say that cutting taxes and letting Americans keep more of their money is akin to theft and that it's morally reprehensible. Now, forget the fact that tax cuts as they were passed, and every analyst who goes over the numbers on this tax plan, I don't care if they're leftist or rightist, they all agree that the vast majority of Americans are going to see vast majority of Americans who pay taxes are going to see a significant cut in their federal income taxes. Not all, but the vast majority. So I don't know. I mean, even the New York Times and the Washington Post get it. They understand. Well, they're thinking to themselves, well, this could be, the Washington Post and New York Times and a few of the other left-wing lamestream media publications, they're running scared now. They're a little bit frightful. Why? Because they know that this is a real tax cut for a majority of Americans who pay income taxes. And they are going to remember that going to the polls. They've been trying to, without actually telling the left, like Schumer and Pelosi, without actually just coming out and telling them, they've been trying to hint to them, hey, cut back on the rhetoric because you guys are lying about this. And it is going to hurt you in 2018. Well, that's too late because we're not going to let these people forget about this. It is Nancy Pelosi basically said, and this is not basically, she did say it is theft for you, the taxpayer, to keep more of your money. You're stealing from the federal government. That is Nancy Pelosi and her GOP, her Democratic kin all believe this. Chuck Schumer's no different. I mean, I still see people over there on Twitter talking about how this is a tax cut for the rich. And then, I've had some people say, well, it's a tax cut for the rich. Really? Dianne Feinstein doesn't think so. And you point to her, what she said about it. Well, rich people are going to lose their mortgage deduction if they have a mortgage over $750,000. Well, that's a tax. If you lose that deduction, that's a tax increase for you. Well, then that argument's blown out of the water. So, it's going to only help the rich. And then, of course, all these now they're trying to say that all these companies. How many of them are there now? There's more that came out today that said they were going to do increase investment or give bonuses or to their employees or both or raise wages because they were out. All these wonderful liberal Democrats were saying companies don't share the wealth. They don't. You can't reduce their taxes because they don't share the wealth. And all these big companies and corporations, the very ones that they supposedly hate, like AT&T and a bunch of Fifth Third Bank. And a bunch of others said, yeah, no, we're going to share the wealth. We're going to increase investment in this country. We're going to, hire more people. We're going to pay out bonuses. We're going to raise our minimum wages. And yeah. So they've just been told, the left was just telling you that none of this would happen. And everything that the left says wouldn't happen so far as letting people and companies keep their own money is starting to happen already. The Democrats really need to pick a different subject because they're losing this one big time. They really need to go and pick a different subject because they're losing this one big time. I mean, I don't understand what these people are thinking, and it just doesn't make any sense. So, look, I'm going to keep more money in my pocket, but I guess I'm stealing from the federal government. If the federal government gives me a tax cut, that's stealing from the federal government. So the federal government says I can legally pay less taxes. That's stealing from the government. I don't know. I don't understand that. If I choose or if somehow I get away, try to get away with not paying what I actually owe, yeah, that could be construed as stealing. But if I pay what I owe, what I owe this year is less than what I owed last year, even though my income hasn't changed, that's not stealing. Not at all. I mean, that's good business practice. You know, if companies can get more efficient and bring down the cost of so many goods and services over time, why is it every year government has to increase? They cannot do the same thing that business does and become more efficient and improve their processes and their services, so they cost us less. They end up always costing us more. How is that? So this whole notion that government can do it, should or cannot do with less, is a crock. And this is now. By the way, this just to go to show you how bad the left knows the passage of this tax cut, because they did their best to get this thing slammed and locked away. They did their best to twist it and to turn the American people against it. I don't know who they. Sure, you might turn people who don't pay income taxes against it, because that means they're probably going to get less of a government handout. But still the 51% of people who do pay taxes, they get it. Hey, I'm going to be in that majority that's going to, save money. But they are so bent out of shape on this because they know that this is a huge loss to the Democrats. Huge, because they've been on the wrong side. They played their hand, all their cards, and they lost big time. So much so that Jorge Ramos says he's now having the worst time of his life in the U.S. Nearly a year into the Trump presidency, Univision anchor Jorge Ramos says he's experiencing the worst moment I've had in 34 years I've been living in the United States. Well, I got a cure for that, Jorge. Go back from whence you came. With Donald Trump, he says, with Donald Trump there, I have never been treated so badly. I've never been insulted so much. We've never been attacked so much. They have never tried to run us out as much as now. Ramos he vented this in an interview with the Spanish radio network Cadena SCR. Well, you know what? That's because you've been trying to run us out. For years, you've been plastering lies about the right. You've been plastering lies about Trump. Now, when those lies have been proven to be lies, now you're going to whine and say, "I've never been treated so badly." Well, you're fake news, Jorge. If you would, you could be a big lefty all you want, but if you just would have reported the news in an unbiased fashion and just told us the facts, you'd be still having a wonderful time here. But instead, you, like many in the lamestream media and many on the left, you've chosen to obfuscate the truth. You've chosen to hide the truth. You've chosen to lie. You've chosen to press forward with your own personal agenda. You've chosen to use the news as a political tool to get what you wanted. That's why you're having such a terrible time. There's no other reason. Don't blame us. This is all on you, Jorge, and the lamestream media. It's all your fault.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message. Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
And I have another wonderful Christmas song for you. I'm not sure exactly if you would call it a true Christmas song. It's a little bit fun anyway, and it's going back in time. This is an oldie from good old Otis Redding, and it's Merry Christmas, Baby. Short little ditty from back in the 60s. Thank you for allowing me to play this one.
Merry Christmas, baby. Should it treat me nice? Merry Christmas, baby. Should it treat me nice? You bought me a diamond ring for Christmas. I feel like I'm in paradise. I feel mighty fine, y'all. I got music on my radio. Feel mighty fine, girl. I got music on my radio. Oh, oh, oh. I feel like I wanna kiss you standing beneath that mistletoe. Santa came down the chimney. Hey, like I'm in paradise. I wish you a Merry Christmas, baby. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, honey. Everything here is beautiful. I love you, baby, for everything that you give me. I love you, honey.
Merry Christmas, baby. Yeah, going back in some good old Motown soul there. FCC is fining Sinclair Broadcast Group. I'm not. This is. You should gotta listen to this fine. $13.4 million. That's the fine. Now the reason for the fine is for running sponsored content as news. Yeah, it's all this fake news stuff that we've been hearing about. It's the left that is perpetrating this fake news stuff. The FCC is slapping Sinclair Broadcasting Group with a $13.4 million fine for running news stories on a cancer foundation, but failing to disclose that the foundation was paying for them to air. The FCC said that the programming was broadcast more than 1,700 times, either as stories resembling independently generated news coverage that aired during the local news, or as long-form stories that aired as 30-minute television programs, the agency said. We get this all the time with these infomercials. They come across as being some sort of talk show or news program, right? So it's no different. But this is, look, again, something that's slapping the left in their own face. They wanted to hammer the so-called right for their so-called fake news when it's always been them that's been perpetrating the fake news. And now, just as it is with the tax cuts, they've been caught red-handed lying about this kind of stuff, and they're the ones that are paying the price. Hey, this has been a glorious 2017 with Donald Trump in office. Beautiful, beautiful. Top of the hour coming up next. Rev Rod, don't go anywhere.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's going to explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small. You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl. who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Well, we are here this morning. Thank you, Rod, for giving me this opportunity to talk to the peoples here. We want to talk to the peoples, give them a word of presence, a word of encouragement, a word from the Lord on this special holiday time. We got a happy day here. We got a happy day. I want everybody out there on the sound of my voice to know it's a happy day. We got Donald Trump in the White House. It's been an amazing year. Only could be delivered from God himself. He's so magnificent, so wonderful. Yes, it has been a wonderful, happy year. We're looking for so much more. We've been through so much. We walked through those valleys. We had to climb over those mountains. We had to cross those wide oceans. And we took this ship called America. We changed the captain. Yes, indeed, we took the captain and made God the captain again. Because God was the captain of this ship. And he steered us away from the storms. And he put us right there on the course for the sunlight. And every day now we hear the courses and the forces of evil, the devil himself. The devil himself coming forth in the form of like Nancy Pelosi and others in the Democrat Party. I just heard a story about this Jorge Ramos. He's now complaining about him having a hard year. It was a hard year. It's a terrible year for him. Well, when you are tied to the deceiver, to the liar, and not the light, you are going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time. Because the devil, he don't care about you. You tie yourself up to his lies, and he's going to do like I always say, Bill Clinton did to Monica. The devil is going to ride you dirty. He's going to ride you into the ground. He's going to ride you into hell. But this is not the time for that. No, this is a happy day. Donald Trump is the president. And he is pounding back and beating back those forces of evil. He is pounding back, fighting back. Yes, it is a happy day. Clap your hands. We're doing church up in here. Conservative church for the Lord. It's a happy, happy day. Thank you, Jesus. He came to wash all our sins. He came to buy us back from the deceiver. That includes Democrats. You just come to the light, my friends. You liberals just come to the light. That's all it takes, and you too can have a happy day. Oh yeah, you can have a happy day. Join in the joy. Join in the joy. That's right. Nobody knows but the Lord. You can have your troubles, but when you put your hands in the Lord, when you accept Jesus Christ, that little baby that Mary brought into this world, Mary, just a human being, God said, Mary, I want you to carry my child. Bring forth this ultimate lamb into the world. Go out and all the nations shall know. On this day that you give birth to my only son, that faith has not been denied. The promise of hope has been fulfilled. We don't need no more hope. We already have hope. Hope is in Christ. We got the hope. The hope was born some 2,000 years ago. Hope fulfilled. Promises fulfilled. Because God looked down and He knew the troubles that we were in. He knew the troubles that we were in. He said, I give you my son. That you too, if you change to Him, if you turn to Him, if you accept Him, you'll have no more trouble. Nation of America, United States of America, God help form this country. And the nation turned from Him, and we had lots and lots of trouble. We had 8 years of trouble. Now we turned our heads back to God and said, God, don't let this country go down. The country that you built, Lord. He said, I have not forsaken you. It was you that forsook me. But now since you come back to me, I give you my chosen Donald Trump. He's going to turn your country around. He's going to point you back to me. And we will all rejoice. No more trouble. No more trouble.
Well. Hallelujah.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement,
But now, there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Rod. Gotta thank him for all that rousing end of year sermon. Thank you, Rev Rod.
Rod, Merry Christmas, Rod, to all you and all y'all people. Gotta go now.
So yeah, see you later, Rev. See you next year. Gonna have it is I did the positivity that we have here now in this country is just amazing. I mean, the economy is booming. The stock market is booming. People are realizing the stock market is for them because they're seeing a noticeable uptick in their 401k and other retirement plans and their mutual funds and other investments. It's just amazing. And people didn't fall for it. Even though they were lied to time and time again, they didn't fall for this notion that this is a tax cut for the rich. They understood the numbers plain and clear that they were going to get some tax relief. Well, the only people that might be suffering a little bit, or if you're in a high income tax. What is it? California's got up to 12, 14%. Why the hell is a state income tax that high in a state that also has sales tax and a myriad of other taxes? Well, because they got to deal with, illegal population costing them so damn much, and then maybe they'll turn around from that kind of nonsense. They'll start electing people out there in California that'll say, "Hey, we can't afford this kind of nonsense." Wouldn't hold my breath too soon, especially for California. But look, Illinois is losing population, New York's losing population. Maybe those states, they have a little bit more of intelligent beings there. They have a larger number. Like poor California, they have some Republican enclaves, but those are up north of San Francisco, most of them, and the population is just so little. There's just those poor folks. They just have to, I know they live in California and they love living in Northern California, and I understand it because I love living here in New Hampshire. They're just stuck. But hey, this is probably why Idaho is the fastest growing state in the union. Think about it. Look where they are. I mean, they pretty much border California, Oregon, and Washington State. 3 liberal West Coast enclaves, and even though I don't know, maybe you think that Utah would probably be a little bit better of a place, but no, people don't want to have to deal with Mormons, I suppose. But so everybody, they're moving to Idaho, land of the potato. Any case, here we have this next version, this wonderful version of "Oh Holy Night."
soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise his name forever. His power and glory evermore proclaim. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was divine, oh night when Christ was born.
Yes, indeed. O night divine. It was a divine night and day of the time of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus Christ, Jesus in Bethlehem. Today's holidays, other than heading into the Christmas holiday, there aren't many today, so we can get to those pretty quickly. Today is National Cookie Exchange Day. Yes, so today you celebrate with Christmas just 3 days away. Most of us have probably had our fill of baked goods. Yes, maybe not. Time of year that everybody likes to eat this kind of stuff. So how you celebrate is that you go out and bake your favorite batch of home-baked cookies. And that's store-bought stuff. Bake your own, people. And then you exchange them with somebody else who's also made their favorite batch of cookies. So it's National Cookie Exchange Day. It's also National Date Nut Bread Day. Yes, Date Nut Bread Day. So you can make bread with date nuts and pass it. It's not fruitcake, but I guess you can put dates in fruitcake. But this is bread, not cake anyway. And last but not least, told you this is a very short holiday. Holiday list. It is Abilities Day, meaning those people who have some sort of otherwise what we used to call in the politically incorrect days a disability. It is your Abilities Day, a day to celebrate no matter what your abilities are, even if you are fully and completely disabled. Those are your holidays for today, your holidays for December 22.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with a debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
The herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Before I get into this next story, I want to take a moment because we're running out of time here for the whole year now, coming to the end. I know it's sad, but I want to be able to play something from one of our U.S. military bands, giving them full credit and tribute here. And their version of We Wish You a Merry Christmas. United States Marine Band, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Now, to wrap up this year's sexual diatribes, and I'm sure we've not heard the last of it, because this is going to continue into the new year. But you know all about all the different. What are we up to? 100 guys now? I don't know. So some men and women now. It's something like it's ridiculous. We're trying to keep track of this, and it's hard to do. But there's something else on the other side of the sexual. First of all, from Great Britain, for some reason, there was a couple that was filmed actually having sexual relations on the top deck of a bus, one of those double-decker buses. And they actually received a loud round of applause and cheers when they exited the bus. Now, I don't know if it was people were, saying hallelujah because they got off the bus or thanking them for that unexpected porno show. But that's not the real big thing, because people have been caught having sex in strange and in public places before, so that's nothing really new. Here's something that's a little bit different. There are a couple of infidelity type of apps, hookup site apps that may be going to court. Ashley Madison, yes, remember when Ashley Madison broke? It's the app that helps facilitate married people cheating on their spouses. Ashley Madison threatens to sue Tinder. Yes, that fantastical app that is probably single-handedly killing nightclub attendants and audiences, along with there's also gay versions and lesbian versions. What's it? Grindr and Lender, and I don't know all the others. But Tinder could be sued for its one-night stand service called Casual X. Now, I thought Tinder was casual sex. Well, evidently they have a separate app called Casual X, and Ashley Madison is saying that has threatened to sue its rival sex app Tinder after accusing it of copying its trademark pictures. Ruby Life, the firm which owns Ashley Madison, has ordered a hookup app called Casual X to immediately change its branding and slogan or face legal action. The cheating website is concerned that Casual X, which markets itself as the Tinder for casual sex, advertises its service with the words, "Life is boring, desire a fling." Now, Ashley Madison feels this is too familiar with its own slogan, "Life is short, have an affair." We're actually going to go to court over this. They're actually going to have a court fight over who's more sleazy. Maybe I shouldn't say. Well, it is sleazy. I can't believe this stuff. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And this happens in. This is all happening for a reason. I don't think either one of those apps are going to. They try to keep their clientele, their client list secret. Well, as we know, that just doesn't work out very well. And I don't know. Even if I wasn't, I'm not married. But even if I were married, I wouldn't be having an affair. But even though I'm not married, and I suppose if I wanted to, I'd be clean and clear to go out with different women if I wanted to. But I would not do that with that site, any of those sites, hookup sites. Please, that's part of the reason why STDs are on the rise. Don't you know? You millennials, you guys are doing a lot of things that are screwing. All the hard work that generations before you did to get to this point to clean up the act of people on this planet, and you're just taking all of that and throwing it out the window. Just saying. Just throwing it out the window. There's also a problem. Well, maybe it's because we're getting too much caffeine. Yeah, that's a possibility. We could be getting too much caffeine. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that there seems to be a coffee shop shakeout. Consumers that are hankering for caffeine and quality coffee has fueled a big build-out of cafes in the last 5 years, especially in dense urban areas like New York City. I kid you not. I mean, I was just in New York City for Christmas a couple of weeks ago, and in one block, on the same side of the street, within the same block, there were 2 coffee shops. Starbucks. 2 Starbucks. One was on one end of the block and the other was on the other. Now, everybody knows what a block size is in New York City, really. It's not that big. But there were 2 Starbucks. And you got to ask yourself, really? There are nearly 33,000 coffee shops in the U.S. alone, including those run by big chains such as Starbucks, and a plethora of the mom and pop shops, which oftentimes have better coffee and better service than the big chains like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. Well, even there aren't that many Dunkin' Donuts around here, and this is the home of Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, I know the good old thing, the good old saying is that, Dunkin' Donuts are like gas stations around here. Yeah, but we don't tend to have, well, there are some places where there is a Dunkin' Donuts literally across the street from one another. But in that particular case, there's two cases I can think of. One of the cases, it's a boulevard and you can't make a left-hand turn. So, if you're going east or west, you want your coffee. So Dunkin' Donuts put a shop because there's no left-hand turn because it's a boulevard. It's blocked from left-hand turn. So they have a coffee shop, and that kind of makes sense. A little bit, that kind of makes sense. Because otherwise people have to go way out of their way in order to go around to either side of the boulevard. In another particular case, there's a Dunkin' Donuts shop on one side of the street, and kind of kitty corner across the street, there's another Dunkin' Donuts, but it's in a gas station. And again, you can make a left turn on this street, but it is a 4-lane roadway that is heavily trafficked and busy, so you probably wouldn't want to always try to make a left-hand turn. And, hey, you're getting gas, why make 2 stops? Get your gas and get your coffee, and off you go. But in New York, on the same damn block, there's no difference between either of the 2 Starbucks other than their decor and the building that they're in. One's in a big tower, and the other one's not in a big tower. So there's going to be a shakeup. I guess Americans might think that there might be too many of them now. Well, especially with Starbucks. People know that I'm not a huge Starbucks fan anymore, simply because of if they actually come back around, and start supporting our military in this country and stop being so damn liberal, which is going to be very difficult, seeing how they're still headquartered in Seattle. I might start buying Starbucks again, but I stopped buying Starbucks a few years ago because when I found out they were anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment, anti-First Amendment, and they were anti-Trump, and this is before they were anti-Trump, but they were anti-military. Then it came out that they became known as being anti-Trump, and I'm like, definitely not going back to you anytime soon. So, but their old CEO person has stepped down, so maybe there will be a change in that. We will have to wait and see on that. But in any case, I don't know if they're actually going to do it or not. But if they'll change, I doubt it. But we'll see. We shall see, as they say. UT, or Yitu, Y-I-T-O, Minority Report, Yitu Technology. Folks, this is actually kind of scary that they even think about this, but evidently somebody is thinking about this. Artificial intelligence machine can identify 2 billion people in seconds. Now, there's only like 7 or 8 billion people on the planet. So in about a minute, every single person on this planet could be identified by this thing. Now, Yitu, Y-I-T-U technology has made an AI algorithm that can connect to millions of surveillance cameras and instantly recognize people. All the surveillance. I mean, there are some countries that are heavily cameraed for public surveillance, like Britain. I mean, we're kind of getting there, but we're not there yet. But we got cameras all over the place. But they've made an AI algorithm that can connect to. What was it? The Shia LaBeouf movie, Eagle Eye. Remember that one? That actually wasn't too bad. The company based in Shanghai, China, developed Dragonfly Eye to scan through millions of photographs that have been logged in the country's national database. And people, yay, they're taking your picture here all the time. Well, this is China, and don't think they're not doing it here in the good old US of A, by the way. Just don't even think that they're not doing it. This means that it has a collection of about 1.8 billion photos that are on file, including visitors to the country and those taken at ports and airports in China. So if you happen to be in China for whatever reason, the Chinese government has your picture. Isn't that nice to know? It may also have access to photos of every one of Hong Kong's identity card holders, although Yitu has refused to confirm. They have this information, they're refusing to confirm it. The cutting-edge technology is now being used to track down criminals, with the early stages of use showing it has been hugely successful, and there is talk of bringing said technology to the United States. Now, this is from the dailystar.co.uk. Folks, you want to talk about, they always talk about Minority Report. This isn't Minority Report. No, this is not, trying to figure out if you're going to do a crime before you do the crime. No, this is Eagle Eye. By tracking you everywhere, you have no privacy, and being able to manipulate things around you to entrap you and ensnare you. That's what this is about. Big government, big brother. Yeah, well, it's definitely here now. And we've got the electronic devices and algorithms and artificial intelligence that will do it. Definitely do it. Folks, this is pretty much the end of the broadcasting year for us here at Zinc Media Arts and the Rod Eccles Show. And I am very happy and glad to call you friends and have you listen into this program. And we do plan on continuing and growing the program and adding a lot of broadcast stuff for you next year. It's going to happen. I really just want to thank you for being here through this entire year. It has been a pleasure and an honor to serve you. And at this time of year, Christmas is a time of year that we all come together as family. And now I feel that for this year, we are the big American family again. We really are. We're again a family of Americans. Now, I know that we're still split a little bit. It's nearly 50-50 on those on the left and those on the right. But what the lamestream media doesn't want you to know is that many on the left are not radical leftists. So they do tend to agree with and come to the side of those on the right a little bit as well. So don't buy the notion that we're split 50-50. And understand that in the coming year that Donald Trump will be uniting us even more, especially with this tax cut and other things that he has planned that he wants to get passed in Congress. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve you over this year, and I look forward to doing it again next year. And as I do every year, this is my tradition to play probably my most favorite Christmas song of all time in this version. And I thank Mannheim Steamroller for giving us the permission to play it on an annual basis. This is their little ditty called Still Knocked. Now, folks, I want you to have a very happy, a very safe Christmas. And we will see you right here on the Rod Eccles Show on Tuesday, January 2nd. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. God bless America.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Oppo file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.